Yeah, so I messed up a little bit there. There was a flash of sort of sensitive data there, so I went ahead and just deleted the recording from Twitch and Facebook, and YouTube says I can edit it. Facebook said I could edit it, but it wasn't doing it. Yada yada. Not a big deal. Still got 40 minutes to lunch. Figured I'd just turn it back on and keep working on what I was working on. So let's see what these debugs are getting in the way. Harvestable object 67. Oh yeah, these are the this tree right here in front of us. So we can go ahead and leave that on. I need to stop and stop. Let's go ahead and save. Sun was just about to come up. And what's going on? Harvestable object. So that was this guy here. So this is tree rarity on start. And we're going to be getting that on both the client and the server. Wasn't there somewhere else that I was doing that? Test tree. Yeah, that's good. The position, we don't need that debug there. It is nice to rename it so I can find it in the hierarchy. So what we really want to do is get some simple debugs going to say debug, and this is going to go off on everything if I don't do these. Let's consolidate that. And so that all of that goes off in one swing. Let's do the same up here just for tidiness. So now we've got that golden if statement, and we want to do it here. If we're that tree, debug.log client side tree is, let's say test tree is not rolling for rarity. Okay, and then we've got our force update here, and once again we want to say debug.log test tree rarity updated to, see, now the thing is this is the tree in particular that was supposed to be green on, or no, was not supposed to be green, but was going green on the client. So we actually want to get that tree a bit behind it. Who was green on the server. So it should start up plain like everything else on the client, but then be sent data from the server telling it to turn itself green is our goal here for this whole system we're setting up. What's going on? Let's go, Unity. Go ahead and close some stuff up. So we want to replace our test tree values with that other tree. It looked like it wasn't properly being sent. We should probably go ahead and say, yeah, we'll hold off on that. Almost all 4 cats on the cat cam. Just got the backside of one there. Tree rarity on start is 0, as expected. This guy too is going to get the same, but we see that these numbers are slightly different. And I'm just going to pause both of these. Let's head over to Malcare. And I do have, see, so this guy is green. So we want to be working with this guy. Let's get that rock. Find the one we're looking for. Oh yeah, and he's got a collider, so it should be this guy. There we go. So he's we're looking for what? Centimeters. Transform local position dot around int. Okay. 272. Let's change all of those. And instead of 851, he is at 829. 829. Alright. So now we save that. Let's restart it once more. And that should now be our test tree. And what we're hoping is that it loads obviously as rare or uncommon on the server. It should start out and not roll for rarity on the client, making this show at rarity. But then after all of those methods play out, hopefully we will get it to update properly to uncommon. Didn't look like it was. If it doesn't make it to that debug, then we'll have to start adding debugs in to find out if player harvesting, where was it, procedural area, if we are properly calling this, if we're a client add watched area, go ahead and get ready for that. Command add watched area called, and we might as well do, what was that, minus 40, minus 36. So only if terrain x equals minus 40 and terrain z equals minus 36 will we call the debug. But let's see what happened. Loading the areas, repositioning. Tree on start 0. This guy called. Tree rarity on start 1. Very good. But we did not get our tree rarity updated. And let's go stand by it. I think it's like right here, kind of. Yeah, I'm looking right at it there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's this tree. So we will close you down again. Server will save the position and we'll stop it. So now I'm going to go through the steps of negative 40, negative 36 is correct, right? Negative 40, negative 36. Command add watched area called. This is on player harvesting. So we're just going to say by game object. Game. What are you doing? I need a plus. Game object dot name. So that should say malcare. Command add watched area. That gets everything in motion. And then this guy, because he is rarity is greater than 0. Aren't we supposed to, did we not set up anything to actually send add network resource stat data? Is there not actually anything calling this? Who's calling this? Harvestable object. Yeah, we set that up. Okay, so let's just put a debug there using this. Yeah, we'll do it just for that tree. Client side, test side tree, server side test tree is rare. Then it's going to add the network data, and when it does that, it's going to go through here. And let's just go ahead and say debug.log. Looking for clients to send data to. I'm currently doing this per harvestable object. That's not the greatest, because they're all going to churn on at once. This is per harvestable object. Add that through there. So we actually don't want to do this right away. We want to have some kind of a list of network area resource stats, new stat holders. And let's go ahead and do in the event that it's already there, that means that another object has already made this call once and generated the stats holder. All the ones that follow are going to be using this. So only on the first one do we want to add new stats holders dot add nrs nars, and that's just going to be a reference to the same thing. And then we're going to move this to an update method, which I don't think start setup void update. You're going to make it private. Fancy. If new stats holders dot count is greater than 0, then I want you to go through, I want you to grab it. I want you to grab the first one, which is a network area resource stats. Network area resource stats. Nars equals new stat holders 0, whoever's first, and then target send network resource data serialized bytes nars. Yeah, so we're looking for not per harvestable object. Nars.terrainx, nars.terrainz, and what equals nars dot, there we go. So only if the next frame we've had something new added, meaning all the rare resources that showed up last frame and all at once input their data into the holder, the next frame update will get called. If there's something new in here, we'll go and we'll try and send that data to any players that are already watching it, and then we will new stat holders dot remove at position 0. Only if they're watching the area. I do want to make sure that I'm watching who calls client watching area. Train kind of only that specific area I want to watch. Where was that debug that we set up earlier? Player harvesting, there we go. Add watched area. Removed, we don't need to do yet. Client watching area. Player harvesting, harvestable object, no, player harvesting, command watched area, client watching area. So that basically just passes that to here, client watching area. Plus, let's do client dot player name And then if it finds it already watching it, otherwise this is going to get triggered during the update. Debug log, new stat holder, update check. And then let's go ahead and do, can I get that same, where was it? Network resource data, this guy. Use those numbers again. If network area stats holder. Okay, so let's just say if nars.terrainx and nars.terrainz are this. That's actually when we call this, so it doesn't do it for all of them. Updating new stat holder. Update. Cycling through new stat holders. And then for each client, if it finds, it's going to go ahead and target network SYN. Let's just add that into here too. Sending data to plus, in here we've got client dot player name. Alright. So this should, without spamming, in regards to that specific terrain that we're watching, player procedural area will call for it to let us watch the area. Other stuff will call to report rare resources, and then in both cases of either the terrain or the server coming first or the client coming first, it should then be sending that data to the client. Nice kitties. Server player added. Repositioning. Server side test tree is rare. Cycling through all of this, cycling through all of this. It looks like this was never called properly. Command add watched areas called by malcare. That's not showing up anywhere. So what's up with that? That's the problem right now. Add watched area, find all references. That's on the procedural area. If game settings play mode equals, is there anything that might prevent this? Ah, that would prevent it. This is all stuff that only gets loaded on the server, so we're already canceling out. Don't let multiplayer clients do any of this. And that's a decent place to just say else. Because the server wants to do all of that. If multiplayer, if we're not a client, that means we're either single player or a host. In both cases, we don't need to do this. So only in neither of those cases do we do this. Try that again. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? Eat a cookie. Can you show your nose? No? It's kind of cold today. I got my middies on, but didn't click play, geez. That compile steals the focus. Didn't do that in 2018. You used to be able to just click while it was compiling and it would load as soon as it finished. I keep doing that. Server is up. Client is connected. Tree has loaded. Finished loading. Server, add watch area called by malcare. Sending data to malcare. Network resource data byte received. I don't see tree being forced anywhere. It has not updated. Data was received though. Why are these all the same length? Sending data to malcare, cycling through stat holders. Sending data to malcare, sending data to malcare. Update cycling through new stat holders. Sending data to malcare. So it's trying to send something, and I did receive something. It's gonna only when new stats are added. It's gonna go through here, then it's gonna send, and it's that same terrain, so that means it's sent that terrain a bunch of times. but there are a bunch of different areas. I wonder what area that tree exists in. We could figure that out. Let's stop these guys for now. Hello. Now, the tree itself is in these positions, which means that, I mean, that's 0, 1, 2, right? 272 divided by 128, that's 2. 829 divided by 128 is 6. So we're in local area 2, 6. Let's go ahead and add that. And nars dot local area x equals 2 and nars dot local area z equals 6. What's equals is equal to sending data to client. I'm curious. Harvestable object, server side tree is rare, add network resources. Let's say in the event of this is null. No, we can leave that alone, but sending data, local area, if area terrain. So yeah, I did send a number of them. I'm just confused why they looked like they all had the same size. Let's go to where we receive the data. Targets and byte rate length. Import network area resource stats. Let's add a debug here too. Debug log. Importing resource stats. And I kind of actually want to just for int I equals 0, I equals less than nars dot datas dot count I plus plus. Can we do? Oh, we don't need to do that here. We can do that on this guy, and then nerds. So this is the actual data itself. And I kind of want to just cycle through here, but I'd like to only do it if so maybe I do want to do it before the data itself gets sent to, that was the watcher. When we've still got the nars, this is nars dot datas. If, but only if the nars terrain is equal to, where's somewhere we can pull that from? Local area was 2.6. I'll just do that manually. If nars dot terrain x is equal to minus 40 and nars dot terrain z is 36 and nars dot local area x equals 2 is equal to 2, and nars.local area z is equal to 6. Then I want it to go ahead and loop through. Show me what you got. Nars.datas I dot local. Let's do rarity first. Local x and local z. Yeah, I'm just kind of feeling like it's strange that it sent. Those were like all the same length for each area that it sent. Seven six six 785 766. You know, that just seems a little funky. Server's up. Client is loading. Client has connected. Tree has loaded. Client side. Server is now probably loading it. Importing resource stats a number of times. It did find one that was rare. Oops, I got out of position somehow. Where's that rock? See, I don't like it when it gets this dark. Test tree. Test tree's up here, huh? He's at 2718 8289 8289. That all looks correct. So that passed through the procedural watcher here with the correct positioning, right? And then it looked for the proper area, terrain X, terrain Z, local X. What is this? Area dot local X, that's fine. NARS local area X, good. ZZ passed the data to here, went through all of the spawned resources supposedly. So let's say this is getting called debug.log. Let's just make sure that spawned resources.count is getting populated properly. And then let's just make sure that, do I still have one of those if statements, please? Was that procedural watcher? I just set that up. Procedural area. If terrain X, terrain Z, and this is just local X, I believe. Local Z equals 6. And then, let's say, I mean, obviously it's not finding it. Or index t dot get component t is transform. I don't think this is set up properly. We're going through all the spawned resources, we're grabbing for it, then we're going through all of this, we're looking for whichever's closest. If the index equals greater than that, then we want to grab that index. And yeah, no, that's true. That's right. T get component. Hold on. Let's just do a debug log. Found plus temp distance, and let's just turn this up to like 2 for now. And we're using local position divided by 10. So we're working with decameters. So this would only work if it's within 2 decameters. So yeah, we had that at 0.4, right? So yeah, this would be 4 decameters, which is 40% of a meter. So that's more like what we want, not 0.4. That's probably what was stopping it. Let's try that one more time. Math will get you every time. Hi, kitty. Kitty tail. Oh, you're gonna sit in front of the keyboard? Isn't that nice? Very helpful. Very helpful. Server will be up shortly. Get the client rolling. Server's up. Client is loading. Client has connected. Tree spawned. Mundane. Server will start to load things. resources received. Spawned resources 108. So we got to that. We did not make it through this list to find what we were looking for, though. We did find one, and this should be the decameters properly. We looked at the tree. So my math is probably just bad here. Distance of 4 decameters. It's definitely within that. Local position divided by 10. Local position Z divided by 10. XD. I don't like that I'm getting this over and over. What is that from? Harvesting Manager. Network data byte length. Yeah, that's just kind of annoying. I'll probably use it later. So need to get to lunch. It's gotta be this stuff though. 108 spawned resources. It's gonna go through all of them. Let's go ahead and debug the distance for... Sorry, kitty. Gotta use the keyboard again. Debug.log temp distance. Because these might just be way off from not what we're thinking about. Or not what we're looking for. That looks like it makes sense though. Or is this not divide? Is that this is multiply, isn't it? There we go. We're moving. Yeah, there's 10. Okay, chat. Come on, you guys knew that. Somebody's better at math than me. That should do it. Let's try it out once more. And win or lose, I gotta go get some lunch. Which means go into my kitchen and make a sandwich. But let's give this one last try. Server is up. Client is loading. Connected. Come on. Rarity. Daddy needs a sandwich. Finished loading. When you guys gonna go green? Server's loading stuff. Hey, there we go. Made green by the server. Alright. So this is the dude. I don't even have my speakers on. This is Mr. White, and this is Mr. Green, as expected. So that should work better. I'm just going to pause everything before I shut it down so nothing saves. And then we can get rid of those debugs, but this should be a better system in just letting the server... I mean, the server was already deciding. It was just that the client would sometimes at greater distances make calculations that differ from what the server was doing. This way, it'll wait for the server to do it. We still have the question of tiers changing, and we can, we don't have to send it for every object. We can only send it for, or we can set it up for the rare chance, because it's like, when we calculate tier, there's a 1% chance if you're within this certain, 750 meters, and then there's a 1%, or not a 1% chance, 10% chance if you're within here. We don't really need that anyway. We could just get rid of it. But there's still, it's just the fact that it uses this, even if get level by location, because this guy's going to do the same thing. This technically could round slightly different than the client. It would just be more unlikely because, well, it would be less noticeable, but it could still totally happen. I don't really want to send a tier check for every resource. Maybe we can get something fancy that, because you'd have to send the location, which is the X and the Z. And we can knock that down to at least a short, but still, for every tree, having to send that for every tree, for every player, that's a lot of data. We could do something like, when the player looks at a resource, then it requests the tier instead of assuming that its calculations are correct. Just do a quick ping to the server and say, what tier is this stone that I'm looking at? That'd just be based on your ping, and then the mouse over tooltip could update based on that. But the rarities, they've got to have that sparkly so you can see it from afar. So that's a good system for them. We'll do a different system for tiers though, probably, and probably not today because that's not a big deal. If you're in an area and you think you're going to get tier 10 stone and you get tier 9 stone, just take 10 steps to the right and you'll get tier 10 stone. It's not a big deal. So we got some other bugs to work on, I think, more important than that we will get back into after lunch. So I'm going to go grab some lunch, and I'll be back in 45 minutes because I pushed the stream beyond the schedule.